There's a lot of complicating factors to this, and one of them is mental illness. I get that. You don't walk into a work facility and shoot and kill 8 people and wound numerous others and be of sound mind. Of course not. Mental illness is a big part of it. And one thing we're seeing in our world right now is a sharp rise in people experiencing mental stress and mental disorder. And that begs the question, why would we not make it as hard as possible for people like that to get a gun? Why? And should every kind of gun that's made be available to the average citizen? Yes, this is where the sermon gets political. This is where I hear from my friends in the church who own guns, who talk about the safety that they follow, the way they protect their guns, all the measures that they keep, in which I say, I'm for that. I'm for that. We would want everybody to do what you do, right? And folks talk about their right to have guns, but living is also a right. And we are called to protect people. Now, I know some folks at this point are thinking about the emails they're going to send me. And some of you watching online right now, you're already switching over to your email to send me a message. And here's what I'm going to ask. Before you hit send, I want you to ask, what would Jesus have you do? If Jesus were to say, it's within your power to do something to make the world safer, what steps can you take? Before you hit send, have the conversation with God, because honestly, your beef is not with me right now, it's with the United Methodist Church. See, the trouble is not that I talk too much about politics, it's that I don't talk enough about issues that can be confused as just political issues. When it comes to gun violence, our United Methodist Church encourages pastors regularly to teach and preach on this topic. Do you know what the United Methodist Church believes about reducing gun violence? In our book of resolutions, it encourages every Methodist congregation to advocate at the local and national level for laws that prevent or reduce gun violence. Some of these measures include this: universal background checks on all gun purchases, ensuring all guns are sold through licensed gun retailers, prohibiting gun purchases for those under restraining order due to threat of violence and those with serious mental illness who pose a danger to themselves and their communities, ensuring greater access to service for those with mental illness, establishing a minimum age of 21 years for a gun purchase or possession, banning large capacity ammunition magazines and weapons, promoting new technologies to aid law enforcement agencies to trace crime guns and promote public safety. That's what our United Methodist Church believes. What steps can we take to reduce gun violence? You may be somebody who says, I'm ready to get in that game. I want to become an advocate in speaking to our elected officials about making changes that we need to make. Call the church, ask for Betty Brandt, along with members Scott Severns and also Teresa Berghoff. They work with others to advocate to officials the values of our United Methodist Church, and they would love to welcome your help. Now, you may be somebody who says, I don't do politics, I don't get involved in the political scene. Maybe your step is to get involved with something to help with mental illness in our society. It's to engage yourself in organizations that are trying to help reduce mental illness and those struggling with mental stress. Another top reason for gun violence is suicides. Maybe it would be to volunteer in capacities that could reduce suicide. One day we're all going to stand before God. And if God asks us, what did we do? What steps did we take in this area of gun violence? And our answer begins with something to do with our rights, we might want to work on our answer. Because I believe what God's going to ask us is, did you do everything in your power to protect the lives of my children?